Hi everyone, it's me, Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. The latest updates have me buzzing with excitement because Valentin is stepping into the spotlight in a way that feels both fresh and deeply rooted in everything we've come to expect from this beloved soap. I remember thinking just a few weeks back how his focus was laser sharp on rescuing Anna from that terrible mental health facility in France. And who could blame him? Anna has been through so much, and Valentin's devotion to her has always been one of those quiet, steady flames that makes you root for them even when the odds look impossible. But then Charlotte and Danny showed up at Carly's door with that urgent news, and everything shifted in the most dramatic, heart-stopping way imaginable. Those two kids, bless their brave little hearts, dropped the bombshell about Jens, Ross, and Britt being forced into some horrifying project buried deep beneath Windermere, and suddenly Valentin's entire mission changed course. I have to admit, as a longtime viewer, I wondered at first if the show would keep the two storylines separate, but no, they are colliding beautifully, and it has created this incredible sense of momentum that keeps me on the edge of my seat. What really gets me is how Valentin has now slipped into Windermere himself to investigate those crimes firsthand, and the discoveries he's making are turning the whole island into a powder keg. You can just feel the tension building, can't you? Here he is, a man who was ready to cross oceans for Anna, now redirecting all that fierce determination towards stopping whatever nightmare Ross and the others have been coerced into under that castle. I love how the show is giving us these layers. Valentin isn't just rushing in blindly. He's uncovering truths that shake him to the core. Truths that prove the project down there is far more dangerous than anyone suspected. And right in the middle of it all, he stumbles upon Jocelyn. Oh my goodness. When I read the latest spoilers about him finding her trapped and furious, it gave me chills in the best possible way. Jocelyn has been so alone, so full of anger and resourcefulness, trying to manipulate Cassius just to survive and piece together what happened to Anna. She's discovered those little notes and makeshift weapons Anna left behind, which shows you how clever and determined she really is. I've always admired Jocelyn's spirit. She's grown into such a strong young woman on the show, and seeing her in this vulnerable yet fighting position makes me ache for her. But now Valentin is there, the unexpected savior, and I can't help but smile, because this reluctant pairing feels like classic General Hospital magic. They've placed two people who might not see eye to eye emotionally into a life or death situation. And I truly believe it's going to forge something powerful between them, even if it's born from necessity at first. The way the plots are converging feels so intentional and smart, like the writers have been planning this for months. Before Charlotte and Danny arrived with their information, Valentin was completely consumed with Anna's safety, to the point where Carly herself confronted him about his willingness to drop everything and fly to France. That moment was pure soap opera gold, two strong personalities clashing over loyalty and risk. Yet the instant he learned Britt was being blackmailed with her own medication to keep her working on that awful project with Ross, Valentin made his declaration clear. He was heading straight to Windermere to end it once and for all. It's that kind of swift, decisive change that proves how alive the storytelling is right now. And poor Britt. Caught in the middle like that, I've watched her character evolve through so many heartbreaks and comebacks, and this latest twist with her being forced into the scheme adds such emotional weight. The project itself sounds terrifying, something hidden away that could affect the whole town if it spirals further. And the fact that it's expanding faster than anyone in Port Charles can emotionally keep up with only heightens the stakes. I keep asking myself, will Valentin reach Jocelyn before the worst happens? Of course he will. That's the beauty of these rescues. But the cost and the complications are what make it so gripping. Now, here's where things get even more electrifying. And I have to share my personal take because after all these years of following every twist, I see patterns and possibilities that sometimes differ from the straightforward path the show has taken in the past. Valentin's infiltration of Windermere isn't just about stopping the crimes. It's leading to these new adjustments in the storyline that feel like a fresh breath of intensity. The discoveries he's making down there about the forced involvement, the hidden operations, are creating shockwaves that ripple outward, and one of the biggest adjustments ties directly into his unexpected encounter with Jocelyn. She's been held captive, isolated, and seething. Yet she's been cleverly working on Cassius, trying to understand Anna's situation through those scraps of messages and improvised tools. When Valentin finds her, it's going to be one of those iconic General Hospital rescue moments, but with a twist that sets it apart from the rescues we've seen before. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, but the evidence from the latest updates supports this. It won't be a simple save and run scenario. Instead, it's going to force them into a deeper alliance, one where Jocelyn's insider knowledge of Cassius's moves becomes invaluable to Valentin. This is different from the original plot lines we've followed in years past, where heroes often charged in alone. Here, the collaboration feels earned and necessary, proving the writers are evolving the formula in exciting ways. And then there's the shootout with Cassius that's looming, the one that's already being hinted at in the newest developments. Oh, the thought of it sends a thrill through me because it marks such a pivotal new change in the narrative. Valentin and Cassius going head-to-head like that isn't just action for action's sake. It's proof that the story is shifting gears, raising the danger level, and forcing everyone involved to confront their limits. Cassius has been such a menacing presence, especially with Jocelyn trying to play him emotionally, and now Valentin stepping into that fray creates this perfect storm of confrontation. I remember similar high-stakes shootouts from the show's glory days. Think back to those classic mob and spy entanglements that kept us all talking at the water cooler, but this one feels more personal, more tied to the emotional cores of the characters. The evidence is right there in the updates. Valentin's arrival at Windermere is no longer solely about Anna or even the project. It's about clashing directly with the forces holding Jocelyn, and that shootout is going to be the explosive centerpiece. It proves the adjustments are real and deliberate, turning what could have been parallel stories into one unified, heart-racing arc that demands your full attention. What truly has me reflecting deeply, though, is the speculation swirling around Valentin's future, and this is where my longtime viewer's heart both races and worries. The latest rumors and casting updates suggest that James Patrick Stuart's time on the show might be coming to an end, which opens the door to a truly shocking possibility. Valentin could die in the midst of all this chaos. I know, it sounds dramatic even saying it, but the signs are there. And after 40+ years of watching, I've learned to read between the lines of these contract shifts. If it happens, it would be a heroic exit, no doubt saving Jocelyn, confronting Cassius, and perhaps sacrificing himself to stop the Windermere nightmare once and for all. But here's my personal theory, one that might differ from the original trajectory the writers first outlined. Even in death, Valentin's influence wouldn't fade. It would instead spark an even higher level of obsession and drama across Port Charles, with characters like Anna, Carly, and even the children grappling with the loss in ways that propel new storylines forward. We've seen exits before that felt abrupt, but this one, tied so tightly to the current rescue and shootout, feels crafted to leave a lasting impact, proving that sometimes the most powerful changes come from the hardest goodbyes. The obsession with his legacy, with the truths he uncovered, would rise higher than ever, pulling in Britt's coerced role and the kids' bravery into a larger web of consequences. It's bittersweet, of course, because Valentin has brought such complexity and charm to the canvas, yet it also reignites that fire that keeps General Hospital so addictive. I can't help but connect this all back to the bigger picture. The way Charlotte and Danny's intervention acted as the perfect catalyst. Those young actors are doing a wonderful job bringing innocence and urgency to the screen, and their information didn't just redirect Valentin. It wove the entire community tighter together. Carly's involvement, her confrontation with him, shows how interconnected everyone remains, even when the action moves to that isolated island. And Britt, her struggle against being blackmailed adds such a layer of sympathy and suspense that I find myself rooting for her redemption arc more than ever. The project under Windermere, whatever its full scope turns out to be, feels like one of those slow-burning threats that could explode and affect the whole town, much like some of the environmental or corporate scandals we've seen in past eras, but with a more personal, psychological edge this time. The writers have done an outstanding job making the danger feel immediate and real, and as someone who's cheered through countless crises, I appreciate how this one balances action with heartfelt moments. Will Valentin succeed in rescuing Jocelyn without paying the ultimate price? The updates point toward yes, but with complications that will leave us all talking for weeks. And if the shootout unfolds as dramatically as I imagine, it will mark a turning point not just for him, but for the entire canvas, proving once again why General Hospital remains the gold standard for daytime drama. The heat is on, my friends, and every new episode feels like it's building towards something unforgettable. I've seen the show reinvent itself time and again, surviving cast changes and bold plot swings. And this current chapter with Valentin's infiltration, the rescue of Jocelyn, and the looming confrontation with Cassius is no exception. It's pure, unfiltered excitement that reminds me why I clear my schedule every day. The discoveries, the adjustments, the potential for shocking loss, they're all elevating the obsession and the stakes higher than they've been in ages.